What is up, everybody? This is Night Shift, and I'm back for episode 3. We're in week 3 of the UMASS Dynasty, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit more about the recruiting and give you some more tips. Alright, so you see everybody on the list is pretty much first. We got a guy in second, another guy in second, and a couple more, and then the bottom was the guys that the computer added. I just left them there because they don't have any scholarship offers, so they'll work if I end up losing somebody, or I just want to switch guys after I get the scouting finished on everybody. So you're gonna see I'm gonna finish scouting a couple of guys, and then I'm just gonna get into the recruiting again. Let's see what happens with this guy. Ooh, we got some good throw power out of him. Not too bad for a 2-star guy. He'll work if I have to use him. Let's see what this guy brings to the table. Not bad. He's a gem. 79-74. He could turn out to be okay. He's only a sophomore. Redshirt him one time. He'll be alright. This guy, corner. He's got 91 speed. He's gonna be a 63. That'll be worth it for me to get that guy. And the other corner's got 90 speed. Not really that good. Hopefully I won't have to use him until he progresses to over 70. And by then I should have a much better overall team. Probably could even cut that guy. And that's my favorite guy. And he is a 66. But I got a feeling he's going to play a little above that. You see all the tackles. And this guy. I don't have any scout time left, so we are going to go to the I'll show you guys the phone calls now. I'm only going to use 10 minutes on each of these guys at the bottom, and we're going to continue offering them promises to get maximum amount of points for minimum amount of effort. That way we can continue progressing everybody so that the other teams will give up on them. And I can still try to really get on top of some of the guys. There's only 2 or 3 I'm in second place on, and we're going to try to jump the other teams on those guys. And this way we don't concentrate on only fixing like 5-10 positions. I can concentrate on fixing the entire team and doing it quickly. Change over the whole roster, because like I said before in the last 2 episodes, everybody that's on this list is better than anybody that's on my team right now. So you look at guys that are 63 and 62 overalls, even guys that are like 58 overalls, they're still better than the people that I have on the team, so they're worth getting just to change over the roster and basically increase my championship contender rating, because your championship contender rating for the seasons beyond the season that you're in is all based on the ratings of your players, and you could be ranked like 16 for the season. If you're ranked 102 for the next season, 87 for the next season, and then 60 for the next season, you're going to have probably a C or worse championship contender rating. So we're trying to fix all this stuff at the same time. Not to mention that when I do play the games and I use these guys, they're all faster, each and every one of them. Even all the tackles are all faster than the guys that I have in place right now. So that'll greatly increase my chances of winning when when I'm playing with these guys as opposed to those guys. So we're still doing 10 minutes and getting all those promises out there to increase everybody's interest in our school. And I know this can get kind of boring, but basically after this week you'll see that all these guys are pretty much all but mine, and I'll be getting 25 or adding 25 guys by the time the off season comes around. I'm barely, if any are left, there'll probably be only like 2 or 3, and I'll have barely anything to do during the off season, and that's really all I'm worried about. I'm not gonna save anything for later, as it were. Okay, guys, I know this gets kind of repetitive, so if you do want to fast forward to the highlights of the Week 3 game versus FAU, then you can fast forward to about the 14.5 minute mark, and that'll get you straight to the highlights of the gameplay, so you can see basically what happened in Week 3. Alright, so if you're going to stick with me here, we're up to some of the guys that I'm putting 20 minutes on now. Some of the more important guys that I hope to get, and just putting both promises in for them so that I can get them up as fast as possible and get 300, right around the 350, 360 point range for all those guys. And that guy's important, so I'll probably move him up. I'm doing now. I got a nice lead on Utah with him, but based on his stats, he's going to be real important. And 92 speed with a 73 tackle. So we're going to actually move him up to number 5 on the board. Quarterbacks, a couple of corners. Make sure I talk to his guys a little bit. This guy only has me on his list, so I'm going to give him 10 minutes of my time. Thinking about offering him a promise, but then I realized, why offer him a promise when I'm the only person on his list? So you don't really need to do that. Just offer the promises to guys that have multiple teams on their list, because you're in no danger of losing a guy that has nobody on his list but you. But it is kind of important to get those promises out there, because basically promises will start affect you in season 3, because instead of getting 150 points, or however I'm getting, somewhere in the hundreds for all these promises, you're basically going to be getting 350 points of promise offered when you get to season 3 if your bar goes all the way up for your integrity. So that's something to really keep in mind, because basically it goes like this. Season 1, you just need to get through as fast as possible with your gameplay, and obviously winning never hurts, but I don't really see any impact on the recruiting from your wins and losses in year 1. You could have the worst season and still sign all these guys because there's no competition in any of them. Now, another thing you guys got to keep in mind as you watch me do the rest of this recruiting is, now that I'm doing about 40 minutes on everybody, I am noticing that pretty much that's should be the max that I should be doing as I'm rewatching this, because you know when you have D for your grade, it doesn't really matter what whether the prospects like it or not. You just don't get many points at all, so it's not really worth it to spend more time on these guys. But you should always use that prospect choice thing at the top because it gets you a little extra bonus. But like on this guy, I'm trying to use 6 out or a full hour, and it's kind of backfiring on me. You'll see I'm getting negative points here. So it's just not a great idea to use extra time on a guy when you could just use the 40 minutes and actually get more points than using the 60. So let's see, dropped it down to 50 for this guy, and let's see, like, you should always be trying to sway the importance when you have a chance on anybody, because when you go to do the what's it called, when you do the visit, when they come for the visit for the school, if you sway them, it will show you more than one thing that's the most important to that recruit. It doesn't have to only be the stuff that says very high to get to most. It's just you'll get more most if you sway people. So it's always a good idea to sway when you have a chance. And unlike in past games, the sway is, I think, much more important in this game. And also I think happens a little bit more often in this game too, based on everything that's going on around. Alright, so we are almost done with this. We only got 2 guys left, and I saved just barely enough time to get this guy 50 minutes and the top guy an hour. But we'll see if that works out against me, because this was the first time I went through this recruiting, so I'm kind of giving you the tips after I'm rewatching it, so you can do what I did for some of it and not do some of the stuff that I did for some of it as well. But like I said, all these guys they're pretty much all mine. It's just we're trying to get them as quickly as possible here. So I'm just gonna use up this hour on this top guy and hope that the end of it doesn't give me negative points. We got 8 points for that, and we're gonna do a prospect choice. The bonus keeps me in the positive. So I got 1 + 5, 1 + 8. So that's hardly worth the 20 minutes for that, but it is what it is. Alright, so now we're going to move on a little bit, and I have one thing to show you guys before we go to the game. I'm going to show you, I'm still a D in prestige right there. We're going to check out the championship contender that I was talking about before, and I have moved up to 103. Not too bad. So that's not bad. I'm still at a D-, and things are looking up. Alright, so now I'm gonna show you guys some highlights of the action from week 2. We got me playing against the FAU Owls, and this was an interesting game. Alright, so I'm picking it up halfway through the first quarter. It's still 0-0, and I just barely don't get that off. So that was a 3 and out, and it's the next drive for FAU, and they're going to try to go deep, but my defense shuts it down. so they did a 3 and out. And we're having a little defensive struggle here. Alright, so now we're into the second quarter, and that was actually a 4th and 2. I wasn't going to kick a field goal, and I wasn't going to punt from there, so I ended up converting that 4th down. And now here's me inside the 20, and a nice run to get me inside the 10. And here a couple plays later, we're on 2nd and goal. We're going to try to punch this in with 20 seconds left in the half. Beautiful. So yes, the extra point was good, so we take 7-0 lead at halftime. Here's the first drive for FAU in the 3rd quarter, and I'm going to come around here, and I was going to try to get that, but I missed. But the computer picked me up. Got me a nice little interception right there. And it's still 7-0. Here's another 4th down on the 30 because my kicker can't make it. And a nice pitch and catch right there will convert another 4th down for me. And here again, a nice throw, gets it inside the 5. And now here a couple of plays later, I'm backed up a little bit, and I'm going to try to scramble out here, and then I'm going to actually just end up running it in, and that's a touchdown. So now I got a 14-0 lead, and things are going pretty good. Alright, so now we are in the beginning of the 4th quarter. It's 3rd and 11. They're getting kind of desperate. We're going to go deep here, and we got the miracle catch there. Alright, a couple of plays later, we got a key play in the game, 4th and 11 from about the 13, and he's going to go for the touchdown right up the middle, and it's blocked. And that's going to do it for the game, and I'm going to take down another victory. 14-0. I'm going to show you some of the stats. I only completed 5 passes out of 7. I ran the ball for 81 yards. Nobody with more than 2 catches. But you'll see the nice big interception right there. Alright guys, have a good one, and tune in next time for episode 4. Peace.